Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Comedically Correct. I am Andrew. Here with me, as always, is Salena.
What's up?
Yeah. And I get her name right. I was actually really worried that I was going to get your
Hi.
name wrong again.
Really?
Yeah, by accident.
That's okay.
I don't
I
know
mean, I would have
why.
just started calling you the wrong name every time I talk to you. Be like, you
Yeah.
know what? That's a really good point, Adam. And you know what else? I believe that Anthony, you did a really great job.
At least you worked a compliment in there. I did a great job, Anthony. Uh, I think Anthony. Sometimes like I respond to Anthony just because people like think my name is Anthony all the time. I think I maybe have like an Anthony face. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I've been mistaken for Anthony's so many
I feel
times.
like you have like a Herman face.
Herman, I'd see that. My last name used to be Munster. Okay.
Before your divorce.
Yeah, before my divorce. So okay, we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. Um, I guess maybe part of this happened when I was in a coma. I thought everybody loved Chris Pratt, and apparently everybody hates Chris Pratt. So what's going on here?
Yeah.
Explain
Okay.
this to me.
So everybody liked Chris Pratt because he was like a fun, goofy character in Parks and Rec, and then he got like super buff and did Guardians of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy,
Galaxy.
right? So
Yeah,
everybody's like super a fan. And
yeah, I
then it
love
turns
Chris
out
Pratt.
like he starts to be a lot more religious online, which is fine. But then we find out that he belongs to a church that is supportive of like Trump.
Yeah, and
And the church is like
some of
kind of
the
racist.
yeah some of well, I didn't read the racist thing. I read that there were a lot of people in the church that were anti-LGBTQ.
Oh yeah. I knew it was
And
something bad.
yeah, and Chris Pratt has responded to those, saying that that's not the case, and that's not something that I know or don't
Is
know.
it it's not Christ Church, is it?
I I don't know.
Because there is a church that like a lot of celebrities go to, like even Justin Bieber, and like even Justin Bieber, like he's the biggest celebrity, but like
Yeah,
there's a church that a lot of celebrities go to, and that they're like friends with the pastor and stuff. But the pastor recently, um, what happened to him? I think he quit or something. Like he had to leave because he was accused of sexual assault.
oh
So if it's that church, we should probably have looked that up. But
yeah,
there's
yeah,
always a lot of there's always a lot of weird things going on in the structure of these mega churches. That's like
yeah.
it's hurting people.
But I read that tweet, and like I didn't think that tweet was so bad. Like it's like one of those things where I think that people were putting a lot of extra stuff in there that he didn't say. Like I don't know, sometimes like you'll say something and people are like, what's that supposed to mean, right? Like when you tell a girl, or like not necessarily a girl, but you tell somebody they look nice, you're saying that I don't look nice every other day. You know how like sometimes people are like that. That's what I'm reading from this tweet.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I also feel like it is weird to say like about your current wife that she gave you a healthy child knowing that your other child was born prematurely and had to have surgeries and has like heart problems and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be like to me that would be like if my parents took a picture with my two straight siblings and they're like, we have two wonderful straight kids. I would feel like that was like a dig at me and my little brother for like being gay. Like that's what that would feel like. I'd be like, well, two of them are great and they're straight, and then what about us? Like
I
that would
can
feel like shade to me.
I can see that, but it'd be weird to be like, I'm glad that I have straight children, but it wouldn't be weird to say I'm glad that I have healthy children. But at the same time, like thinking that it's like a dig to the unhealthy kid, I can see where that comes from. But I also
Mm-hmm.
see like how like you might not think about that before you wrote that, and then you're
Yeah,
like, well,
probably
that's
not.
not what I meant.
He's
I
not a real smart person.
well, he,
But then, I mean, if he realized that it could be read that way, I think what he should have done is immediately post afterwards, like, this is my other son, Jack. And he's also, whatever he said about that little girl, healthy and beautiful, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, but I didn't read that as a dig, but sometimes like sometimes if you post that you're happy, people that you used to be happy with that you're no longer happy with, right? Like your exes or whatever, sometimes get upset. And Anna Faris obviously hasn't posted anything about this, but I think sometimes some fans are getting jealous for Anna Faris. Like when you're like, oh, I love my new wife. You're saying like the old wife is a piece of shit. Like you're just saying she's trash or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
but I think that's an overall internet phenomena that we see every single day where it's like if somebody says something about one of your favorite celebrities, you get on there and tweet at them about how they're wrong and how much they suck. And it's
yeah,
like, I don't think you need to defend these people.
not usually, no.
I don't know
Like
that
other
any
than
of them are
Britney
like,
Spears, I don't think
yeah,
so.
but because she can't speak for herself, but the rest of them can. And if they choose not to, then they probably just don't care. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
Anna Faris seems like the kind of person, like, she doesn't, or I think actually it's Anna. I think she doesn't really care.
I thought it was Anna. Anna sounds right too.
I
I'm
mean, I feel
sure.
like she's just like holed up in her mansion with her kid, just enjoying all of her scary movie money.
Yeah, like like it's one of those things that like we probably care more than they do. Yeah, no, like it's one of those things where like it's probably like a non-story. It's just something that I was like curious about because like I didn't know when the Chris Pratt hate started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super cool to belong to a church that is like anti-gay. Even
Oh.
if you don't hold those same beliefs, you still belong to that church and you're still like, you go there all the time.
Yeah. See, that's something I actually struggle with. That's something that me and my mom talked about, and you brought back cake, tres leches. Oh, can you can you leave that here and just leave? It's not for me. All right. Sorry. Sorry about that. One sec.
Your mom brought cake and isn't even going to share with you?
No, yeah, there's two pieces there. She's definitely
Oh,
gonna
okay.
share that with me. But like specifically what I was about to say, I couldn't say right when she walked in.
Yeah.
No, like it's something I struggle with because I'm Catholic,
Yeah.
and I've actually talked to priests and stuff about this at length. And although no church and the Catholic Church, it's really hard to get around the history of the Catholic Church.
Right.
So, but I've been raised Catholic, and that's all I know. And it's one of those things where like there's a lot of stuff that I agree with, but like at the same time, like I've actually talked to priests at length about specifically like being gay and not that I'm gay, by the way. It's just the idea of like being gay being a sin and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
that's
and
what
how
I said too, right before
yeah,
it came out. I was like, I don't have a problem with gay people. I'm not gay though, but I think it's fine to be gay. I'm not.
like I am not. But there was a moment watching Troy where I was a little conflicted.
Of course.
That's, that's actually like that's a halfway true statement, but still.
That's okay. Anytime I watch a Jason Momoa movie, I'm like, you know what? I might want to rethink this life that I'm doing.
Yeah,
And then I see him act and I'm like, oh no, never mind. You
buddy,
just be on screen and look pretty. Don't say things.
just keep moving your hair.
Yeah. Just go keep swimming in the water. Nobody
There,
fucking likes Aquaman, but we all watched it.
there's a scene in Troy where, like, I think he just murders like Eric Bana's character. Brad Pitt just murdered Eric Bana's character,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something I tried to make work on stage and it never worked. But anyway, uh, but this is true. There's a scene in Troy where he just murders Eric Bana's character.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back to where he has Rose Byrne, who's Eric Bana's cousin,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and she was like a priestess, like a virgin priestess, and he has her like kidnapped, like he's holding her against her will, like and stuff like that, and like they hate each other, but they're slowly falling in love, which is like a weird trope in movies, like where a guy kidnaps a girl and then they fall in love. I can name multiple movies where that happens.
Yeah.
A guy reluctantly kidnaps a girl. By the way, it always
I mean,
seemed
isn't that the whole plot of Beauty and the Beast?
yeah, Beauty and the Beast. I didn't even think about that one. Buffalo 66. I can name a bunch, but we're not doing that right now. So anyway, and then so like then they finally have sex for like the first time, and then like it's like aggressive, but like it's like a weird like mix of, it's very aggressive but like consensual, and like it's like it's not pornographic at all, but like I've thought about that scene like 10,000 times, and every now and then I think about it, but I forget to put Rose Byrne in there.
And you're in there?
Yeah. Well, like he grabs her skirt, like he like very fiercely, he grabs like the bottom of her skirt and starts lifting it up, but like also slowly and gently at the same time. And then like one of these days, like Rose Byrne just wasn't there, and it was just me and Brad Pitt, and I was like, oh no. I didn't say stop. And so yeah.
I mean, I still wanted it, but it was.
It's like, no, wait, no. But yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, my mom is still like very heavily Catholic. I'm more, I guess. I mean, if I'm like in a desperate situation, I'll pray.
oh yeah.
I don't know what else to do. Like when Kelsey was sick in the hospital, I was praying a lot, and my mom was like, "Well, you said you were praying when she was in the hospital." I was like, "Yeah, mom, I would have hired a fucking witch doctor if it made her better."
Yeah, that's
like,
another.
I would have done I would have sold my soul to the devil. I would have done anything to make the situation better. Yeah, I was praying.
There's a saying that there's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true. Like
Yeah.
when you're really sick, like I go back and forth on like what I think versus what I believe all the time. But I don't know, like, and then like I know my mom is much more religious, like after my ordeal.
Yeah.
And it's something that like I'm never gonna tell people like not to be.
Right.
But like I think it's like okay to like disagree with people. And it's like one of those things where we were talking about earlier, like there's nobody on the planet that you're gonna agree with 100% on.
Mhm.
And when I was younger, I tried to make everybody agree with me. But then like as I'm older, like and then like I was really pushing people away from me just because I was like, you guys need to agree with my middle of the road liberal ideals. And then like when I got older, I was like, I missed those relationships I had, and I'd rather be a friend and a family member with you and then make you think everything, because I've never found one person that I've agreed with 100% on anything.
Yeah. But I also think it depends on the thing that you're disagreeing about.
That's true.
Like if we disagree about who makes the best ice cream, we can still be friends. If we disagree on how the government should spend our money, I guess we can still be friends. But if you disagree with me on like the right to for gay people to have equal marriage, then we can't be friends. Like there are certain lines in the sand that I will draw.
I agree with you, but also I think that you're never going to get through to people if you're not with them, because that's something.
Right, but it's not my job to get through to them. Why is that my job?
Well, it's not your
Like
job to get
why
through
is
to
it
everybody.
but I feel like it's always like, and this is the same thing, I've seen this like 1,000 times. It's not incumbent on the person who's being oppressed to educate the oppressor or to educate somebody who doesn't understand. It's like you can literally Google it. Like if you want to understand why it's like really hurtful and hateful to use slurs against a group of minorities, I don't have to tell you why that's offensive. You could Google it. You could Google the history of the word and how it was used and all the people that were basically hate crimed. And like, I mean, you can look up Marsha P. Johnson, you can look up Matthew Shepard and see how people treated them and the words that they called them.
Have you seen Matt Shepard was a friend of mine?
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you on that point, like that it's not anybody's job to educate people. I just don't agree with, like I agree that it's not your job, but I don't agree that it's going to help. Like I think
Right, but
that
I just like it's
no, I completely agree with you on it. I just think that it's one of those things where it's like the only way that evil can prevail is if when good people don't do nothing or don't do anything is the proper grammar is. And I feel like just in my travels,
Mhm.
uh, talking to a lot of people, and I have a lot of people in my family specifically that didn't think the way that I thought before. And when I got a chance to really kind of explain what I thought and why I thought that, it actually did change minds here and there. And I think that if I wasn't willing to, and it's something that I was more willing to do when I was younger, but if it's something that like nothing's going to change if we don't change it. But I agree with you that it's
Right.
not anybody's job.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for anybody else's growth that's outside of my own. But I do think it's important if you have family, like I can go around all day talking, like, trying to tell people why it's okay for gay people to get married, how it's not hurting the children or the sanctity of marriage or whatever. But if they don't know me and they don't care about me, then it's not going to matter. So I always think it's more important to have those discussions with people like in your family. Does that
Yes.
make sense? Like I mean, most of my friends are white, right? And a lot of my friends do like support the Black Lives Matter movement and they support like police reform and stuff, but they won't talk, like they refuse to talk to their family about it because their family just doesn't understand. And it's like, well, who do you think your family's going to listen to? Do you think they're going to listen to some random person on the internet, or do you think they're going to listen to you?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I guess there's like two sides of it because one, like you're not going to have those relationships with people if all you're doing is telling them like everything you think is wrong. But at the same time, and like I do think that there's like critical thinking, and I think that everything should be questioned at some point. But at the same point, I don't like I don't think like as far as like gay marriage, there's nothing wrong with that. Like even if like nobody's making churches change what they believe, it's
Right.
it's so you're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe, but at the same time, like you should let other people. Am I making this point? Like I think I'm trying to make the point live and let live
Yeah, I mean,
with
yeah,
too many
no, for sure.
words.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, where it's like I'm not gonna disrespect I might make like a funny joke about somebody's religion because I think it's sometimes very silly. But it's
Yeah.
not to be hurtful. It's not like I'm saying like you're stupid because you believe in God. I don't care what you believe in. What I'm saying, like, what I care about is you trying to force your religious beliefs into the government to dictate the way the rest of us live our lives.
That's something I absolutely agree with. Like sometimes like they took God out of school, and first off, they didn't. Like one of the things like obviously there's school shootings. They took God out of school. It was like first off, there's plenty of God in school. Like anybody's able to bring their own God in. Like you can't tell
Yeah.
people that they can't worship like their own way in school.
Right.
Like in fact, like schools, if they have like just like one kid who's like of a certain religion, like they're supposed to like I think
They have to
that
accommodate that kid.
yeah, like with culture like kosher, not culture, kosher meals, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, so yeah, like it's one of those things where I hate it when people say it like the war on Christmas is just something that's made up. Like you're able
Right.
to celebrate Christmas as much as you want.
Yeah.
Like just because the local mall might say happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Like
It doesn't mean those people aren't Christian. It just means they care about other people's religions. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of other holidays.
yeah, and even then, like if they say Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas, like would people get offended? No, there's nothing wrong with it. Like it's something that's such like a non-issue. It bothers me every time someone brings it up.
Yeah. But I think it's because like people who are part of a majority population have never had like the whole world has been built basically around their comfort.
Hmm.
So as soon as things aren't exactly for them, they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, which I don't know. I kind of wish I grew up like in a time where it was like better suited for just like my type of person. So like I could have experience white privilege just better than now, but can't win them all.
No.
Yeah. I wish my white privilege was better. I wish, but it's not. It's still great. Still great, but not as good as it was.
Have, like, lived before women had to work, and then I would just I would be married to a man who didn't know that I was gay and like sleeping with the maid or whatever. I could have lived that life.
Yeah, like my laziness outweighs my progressiveness any day of the week.
Right?
Right.
I think Ali Wong has a great joke about that, where she's like, the feminist movement. I don't know what she said. She's like, I hate it because our job used to be no job until women started showing up and be like, we can do it. We can do anything. Bitch, shut up. Don't tell them the secret. Which is like, I feel like that too. I wish I didn't have to work, but.
No, I'm with you and Ali Wong. Like, yeah, I would. Like,
I mean, who wouldn't rather be a housewife?
Nah, just me and Brad Pitt. Like, I know he's cheating on me, but I'm okay with it. He comes home to me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what was our second story? We'll get to that real fast.
The poop lady.
Oh yeah, the poop lady.
Yeah.
So, a lady, this is one of yours, was doing a marathon, and she pooped herself, seemingly on purpose.
Yeah, definitely on purpose. She did it because she didn't want to, she just pooped because I guess in her running shorts there's like an underwear section, and she just pooped in that because she didn't want to lose momentum during the marathon by having to stop and poop somewhere. So then she just ran the rest of the marathon with poop in her pants, and she was like, yeah, it's fine. The other runners don't judge me.
I would 100%. First off, I wouldn't let that lady beat me.
You should
you don't want to be running behind that.
No. You should always be embarrassed for pooping your pants, no matter what the circumstances. Even if you're a baby, I feel like you should be embarrassed.
Yeah, babies are little douchebags that get away with a lot, so.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, no, dude, you know where the little toilet is.
Well, and you could have just gone in the woods. You didn't want to lose 5 minutes on your time. Just make up for it. Why did you? But she was just like, yeah, I don't regret doing it. I'm not embarrassed. And that's how you know runners are fucking psychos, because you should be embarrassed.
It's what's something that I was thinking about today is I honk at runners and cyclists all the time when they're cycling in the road like assholes and going slow, or running. Runners cross the street without looking both directions all the time. Runners get hit by cars. Joggers, you're more likely to die in a car accident jogging than drunk driving. Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I made it up.
I don't jog then.
I might have made that up, but I did hear something like that once. So, but joggers do get killed all the time by getting hit by cars.
Yeah, there was a story actually that I read a couple days ago about this old lady who was it's like Montecito or one of those little kind of smaller, Contra Costa County or something, one of those places around Los Angeles. This old lady in her 70s, I think, got hit because she was out walking her dog. She got hit by a car and she died.
Is the dog okay?
I don't know. It didn't say.
That's like one of those stories I'd read to the end just to see if the dog was okay.
That's why I read it, but I never figured it out. It's a mystery for the rest of my life.
Those are dicks. You should write a letter. I hate those stories that don't have comments on them.
AP News.
Yeah. You can't comment, so if the story's stupid or the story makes a mistake and you're you can't say anything. I hate it when there's controversial crap and I can't comment on it.
I have an opinion and you're gonna hear about it, mister.
Yeah. But here's what I was thinking was I honk at bicyclists and joggers all the time, but I'm too scared to honk at people on motorcycles because people that ride motorcycles scare me somehow. But you got to think that joggers.
It depends on the motorcycle.
Yeah, but if those Harley Davidsons, stuff like that.
Honk at those people.
I'm not talking about a Vespa.
Yeah, if they're on a motorcycle without a helmet, they don't give a fuck about their life, much less yours.
Yeah. So, And they're riding a motorcycle. Like
Yeah.
fender benders kill people in motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like I've seen motorcycles get in car accidents like firsthand, and something that would just be like an inconvenience for most people almost kills them.
Right.
So yeah. Um but like I'm scared of people that ride motorcycles, but I'm not scared of people that ride bicycles or jog, and those people are more athletic. But I talk shit to them all the time. So like you think like a cyclist should have crazy good kicks. But like people like would fight Lance Armstrong any day of the week.
Yeah.
But like nobody's gonna fight any member of the Hells Angels.
But I wonder if they wouldn't fight him if there was poop in his pants that he could reach around and grab and like,
Throw at you like a monkey.
yeah. That's one thing I'm like, yeah, those people probably didn't judge you because they think that you're crazy. Because I don't know how you walk. Like, I have a hard time walking around if I just feel the urge to poop. I'm like, I have to go. I can't walk. It might come out. Like,
Oh yeah,
how do
and
you
then
walk around with just poop on
you
your
just do that
butt?
duck walk. Yeah,
Also, she's definitely gonna get some kind of infection because there's no way that didn't get into her vaginal area.
I didn't even think about that.
It was like mushing around. It wasn't like in the last 10 minutes of the race. She had like half the race left to go when she pooped.
Women are so
Now she's got
gross.
poop all in her vagina.
Ah, yeah, no, that
That lady's just nasty.
yeah, like everything about it. But yeah, you don't want to like talk shit to somebody that has poop in their pants because yeah, like they'll
Because they
do
poop their
anything.
pants. They clearly don't care.
But I like that line where she's like, I don't know if I can poop while walking, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, why?
I can tell you firsthand, you can poop while walking. I've done it before, but it definitely wasn't on purpose. Like I wasn't gonna tell people, but like, hey guys, I'm sorry about the bathroom wall.
Like I had diarrhea. I don't know.
There was one time before a play, we had one bathroom for the cast and for like the audience.
Hmm.
There was like one men's room with one urinal and one toilet,
Hmm.
which sucked because like every time like at intermission, like it would be packed. But the girls' bathroom had 5 toilets.
Hmm.
Men's bathroom had one urinal and one toilet. Not not saying anything, just saying something. But still, uh, there was a guy, and this was just before the play started, and we don't know who it was. Just murdered that bathroom. But like, and I've watched enough CSI to know that, like, have an idea of what happened.
Hmm.
But like, I don't know exactly what happened. But like, the guy, I guess, ran in there and started undoing his pants on the way to the bathroom at the point where he got into the stall, tripped, fell while doing a 360, and I don't know, barely finished in the toilet, decided not to flush because at that point, like, who really cares?
What's the
And
point?
then,
Like it's
yeah,
already on the balls.
and then just left. Left like a
Rising
ghost, by
from
the
the
way,
wall.
because nobody saw him.
He probably just like left the building. He left town. He has a different identity now.
Yeah. There's no cameras. There's no way for us to go back and look.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I was in the play and they asked us, like, hey, can you clean the bathroom? Like, knowing the one of the teachers asked us, hey guys, can you go clean the bathroom?
Hmm.
It's pretty messy in there. And so like, and we usually clean the bathrooms before the plays. So we went in there and then we're like, whoa, that's not as well, fuck you, man. and then we hung an out of order sign on it. So then we only had one bathroom. Like I didn't bother cleaning that shit.
No.
Literally.
No.
We just hung that out of order sign on it. And then everybody's like, all right, your options are peeing or go home. That's it. But yeah. Uh so next, I guess gossip. So did you have any weird teachers in school?
I feel like I had a bunch. There's like two in particular that I really remember. They were both math teachers, obviously. Um, and one of them, he was just like a creepy older man who like had a way of throwing the paper onto your desk to where like if you were sitting like I'm like this far away from my desk right now. If you were sitting this far away, it would like stab you in the chest because he threw the paper so hard. And then while he was passing out papers, he would be like looking over his glasses down girls' shirts.
That's nice. Well, did you ever get fired? Did you ever get in trouble for it?
Not that I know of, no. Because he was just old. He had been teaching there forever.
So I'm debating whether or not, like me and my mother and I were talking about this particular teacher earlier, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to say his name because it's such like a well-known thing that we've like actually like me and a bunch of like people, my old classmates, have talked about it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
One of my buddies, my buddy Vin, posted a picture of like his face put on Harvey Weinstein's face.
Ooh.
Like, and that's how bad this guy was. This guy, he was my LTP teacher, which is learning to potential, which was essentially like a study hall. Like he didn't have to have a lesson plan or anything. He was getting
Mm-hmm.
paid like a full teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how he got away with it, but he basically had a job at that school for like 10 years, not actually
Doing
having a
nothing.
job at yeah, for not doing shit. Like LTP meant learning to potential, but that was just a
Mm-hmm.
study hall.
Mm-hmm.
So like you know how like every now and then you have a free period where you can just work on stuff?
Yeah.
That was that class, and everybody would just go and do
He
other
was a
homework there.
babysitter.
Yeah. And all he did was like drink coffee. His breath always smelled like a bad coffee. He had like a thick mustache that was just gross, and he would always talk close to your face.
Oh gosh.
Like you would back off and he would get closer. And sometimes he would actually grab you and pull you into him closer. And yeah, dude, like he also grabbed my shoulder while I was peeing once in the bathroom. Yeah.
Is
He's
this
like
weird teacher segment, or is this like that teacher was a molester segment? That's what this feels like.
so well your guy was pretty weird too. But like no, okay, so he did get
But
fired.
it was just like the paper thing about this teacher where I was like, why do you have to throw the paper like that? Why can't you just put it on the desk? You have to throw it to where it like literally is like the corner of the paper would stab you.
I don't know, like maybe he was like a little bit of a sadist.
I don't know. I just thought he like thought it was cool. I don't know.
I don't know, but like looking down girls' shirts, like as an adult male, like
Wildly inappropriate.
yeah, like
I
when I
don't
was
know that he ever touched anyone, but you still shouldn't be looking.
yeah, because my guy definitely got fired for inappropriately touching a student. He got
A girl or
fired.
a boy?
What?
A girl student or a boy student?
A girl student. See,
Oh.
I told you about weird things that he did with me. Like these are the things that I can personally verify happened. Was he talked to me in the bathroom weird once? He's like, "How's it going, Mr. Capon?" And he looked at me while I was peeing, and he was like taller than me. So it was like this, and I don't think that he was trying to look at my nuts or anything like that, but it was just like a weird experience because
Yeah,
he
I feel
started.
like you shouldn't like say things to people while their genitalia is out.
Yeah, well, at least not in that fashion.
Like if
Like,
you hear your friend in the stall next to you, you can be like, "Hey, bitch, what's up?" But
well, I mean, like guys, we have urinals, so like we can like be like,
yeah,
"Hey, bitch, what's up?" And sometimes we give each other hurricanes. That's
what does
something
that
girls
mean?
can't do. Like where someone's peeing and you just grab their shoulders and you go,
Why?
yeah. So they pee all over themselves.
That's gross.
Yeah, guys are gross. I don't know what to tell you. Like you chose right. But anyway, so he would do all the like just like he was just weird around people. He would always be tooting his own horn. And him and I actually were Facebook
You mean like
friends.
farting, or what do you mean?
No, like he would always be bragging about himself. Like when when
About
it
what?
was
He's like a non-teacher.
yeah.
It's not like
So
he makes real good money. What would he brag about?
no. So I remember one time during during Black History Month, uh the teacher we were talking about earlier, one time during Black History Month, he was talking about how he was the first kid at his school that went to the interracial school. And he's like, you know, I was so popular back in the day. I was like, there's no way that anybody
Is
liked
he
you.
black?
No, he was white.
Oh,
No, like he was bragging about how not racist he was, which is like
he probably was racist.
I, like, yeah, it's like one of those
I
things
feel
where
like
like
to brag about not being racist is like,
it's like one of those things where it's a red flag. Like,
yeah,
unless you had a job interview and like you really shouldn't be like, I'm a really nice guy. Like when you say that, it's just a red flag for me.
yeah.
Because everybody that in my life that like tells me that, like, I'm a really nice guy, ends up being like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stretch my shoulder.
Oh, I thought
Sorry,
you were.
it's like hurting really bad.
But anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
I,
it's like if
I
you're
thought you were
like,
doing a
I've
bit.
never, no, I'm just stretching. I'm listening though, but it's like, yeah, that's definitely a red flag. It's when you're like, you know what? I've never thought about a teenager in a sexual manner. I've never done something like that. It's like, why would you
Yeah, like,
feel the need to defend a position that you're not in? What do you, what?
yeah, it's like if like a cop, like, it's like a cop asks you a question, be like, hey, excuse me, sir, can I ask you a few questions? Like, I didn't murder that lady.
I don't have any drugs in my car.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's at least a red flag. Maybe you're telling the truth, but it's a very least red flag. There was a guy I used to work with who was like always talking about how great of a guy he was. And then he ended up dating a 19-year-old that we worked with, getting her pregnant, and then running out on her, like literally leaving through a window, threw all his stuff in a trash bag and left through a window. I will say his name, Franco Herrera, because
Never met person.
I know you're not going to listen to this. And if you are listening to this, I know you're a piece of shit. You hit you hit on my girlfriend and you knew we were dating. And he kept on texting her. And she was showing me the text. So I was like, hey, can you stop texting the chick I'm dating? And he's like, man, he's like, I was just being, nice. And I was like, no, you weren't,
No.
dick. And also, like, he was like talking to, like, he like hit on every fucking woman that we worked with. But anyway,
That's
he was
always
also,
horrible.
yeah. But anyway, we're talking about the other guy.
Yeah.
So he did get fired for inappropriately touching a student, but like when she came out, multiple other students were also like, yeah, I've had like really weird, odd experiences with him, and to the point where on Facebook a few years ago, it was after the Weinstein thing, but he was pretty close to my 10-year high school reunion. Like everybody was talking about it, and then I started reading in this Facebook thread everybody else's weird experience with this teacher, and there were so many weird ones.
Yikes.
There was a girl that he texted at his 18th on her 18th birthday saying, I guess we don't have to wait anymore. Or he said, happy birthday, enjoyed the wait, is what he said. So like he was enjoying.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
The appeal of somebody who's like in high school, they're freshly out of high school. I'm like, that person is dead. What do you talk about? Like yearbook class? What do you talk about? Homecoming?
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of conversation are you supposed to have with this teenager that, like, I don't know, doesn't even brush their teeth?
Some teenagers brush their teeth. I don't want to generalize, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it's it's something that it's obviously aesthetically based.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. Is like they don't really want to talk.
Yeah, because.
But it's still not like teenagers are dirty.
Yeah.
Teenagers don't clean themselves well, I feel, especially teenage boys. Like,
oh, definitely teenage boys. Like I remember Axe body spray was my definition of a shower for like a year and a half.
Yeah, there are girls who do the same thing and just like douse themselves with Victoria's Secret or Bath and Body Works, and it's like, this smells horrible.
Yeah, I remember one time like a dude actually told me, and this is actually what made me start taking showers regularly. It was like an older dude. He's like, smelling good won't get you girls, but smelling bad will lose you girls. And I was like, oh, well, that's enough for me. I'll start showering now. I'm sorry. I was gonna see. I shouldn't have opened with the LTP teacher because like now like all the other teachers that I thought were weird are just like they're less interesting. I opened up with like the most crazy one. Like I had a
very extreme case.
I had an English teacher I had two English teachers that I really didn't like. One of them, she's actually a public figure, so I can talk about her. Her Her name is Wendy O'Donovan. She
I thought
writes.
you were about to say Wendy Davis. I was like, what the fuck? I
Who's
got
Wendy
so
Davis?
scared. Wendy Davis is well, I don't know that she's still in government, but she was like a Texas state senator or something. And she's done a lot of filibusters for women's rights.
Oh.
Or she did like a really famous filibuster and tennis shoes. She did it for like.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I know who that is. No, it's Wendy. Her name is Wendy O'Donovan. Her dad won a Pulitzer Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Her daddy. Okay, she was an adult woman who still called her dad daddy, and
Was
she was
what?
what?
Was she like? Did she have like a southern accent?
Not really. Do you think that Miss O'Donovan had a southern accent? No, she had like an Upper East Side, like New York, like high society accent. Yeah. So yeah, like yeah, she was. But her dad won a Pulitzer Prize for. Have you ever seen the movie Recruit?
No.
Well, her dad exposed a secret CIA training facility and won the Pulitzer Prize for, I don't know, some journalistic thing. You guys can look that up. I don't care to. But I met her dad. She called her dad daddy. She's like, my daddy did this, not my dad. Which is, or my father, which I don't know. Like just hearing grown women call their dad daddy, I don't know, it's just like it's always been a turnoff. It's well, not a turnoff, but like just something
I mean, I think like
if you called your dad daddy,
there are a lot of stuff. I don't call my dad anything because he's dead. But I do think it is like kind of southern, like especially like real southern women, even if they're like grown, still call their dad daddy. But it's not like it's just part of the accent, I think.
Maybe it wouldn't bother me if she had a southern accent, but no, like she had like kind of like a but yeah.
You know what is weird though is that my mother-in-law calls her husband dad.
That's I've met a few older people.
But they don't have children together. He has children and she has children, but they don't have children together.
Yeah, I've actually met a few older couples that call each other mama and dada or mom and dad or whatever.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it when like a girl's like she's like, "Hey daddy." I'm like, "Nah, I don't. We're not related. There's no blood." You know what? Like that, it's weird now.
Yeah. I used to do a joke about that, about how like I don't understand why some guys want their girlfriends to call them daddy, because like real daddies have responsibilities. Like if you're her daddy, if you want her to call you daddy, you better be putting her on your insurance and changing her diaper.
That's good. No, like I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it when girls call me daddy. I don't like it when girls babe. The only time I think it's appropriate for baby talk is when you're talking to a baby, when you're talking to a puppy, a dog, or if you're mocking somebody for being a baby. Those only 3 times it is okay for baby talk. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was like if you're mocking somebody, you're like, "Oh, does Mr. Jonathan not want to go down the slide?" Anyway. Yeah. I think that's okay. But during sex, no. I've met girls like that and it's not fun. I was like, I don't know
who wants to fuck a baby? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like I don't, because it's not. It's.
But I think it's obviously based on porn, because girls in porn have such not all girls, but like especially older porn, girls have such high voices.
Do you think that's it?
Yeah.
You should write an article about that. That's actually an interesting thought.
I accidentally watched a lot of porn when I was young.
I was
trying to figure out, like, I'm always trying to figure out how did I get started watching porn, because I don't remember. I just remember I was watching it when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old.
So yeah, my mom's in the room for this one, but yeah, the first thing that I ever saw, that wise was
Does your mom not listen to it? Listen to the show?
Yeah, but it's different when like she's in the room. So she's folding my underwear. Thank you for telling everybody. Anyway.
I mean, you didn't have to say that. I didn't hear what she said. You told everybody.
I don't know what you guys can or can't hear. Anyway, what were we talking about a second ago?
The first thing that you watched.
Oh, no, okay. I didn't it was a magazine.
Oh.
And like I don't remember how old I was, but it was like elementary school. It was like way too early for me to like comprehend what I was seeing. But like I remember like one of my friends like brought it and we were looking at it in the back of the bus. And like I thought that I would get in trouble. Like I thought my mom, like I was so paranoid. I thought my mom knew, and yeah, it was also like high end stuff. It wasn't just like naked women. It was pretty like, but it was like a magazine.
What do you mean high end? Like
No, not high end like classy. I mean like high end like the stuff that like
all the way. Like
yeah, like you know.
Like it was one of those centerfold magazines where like you open it and it's like just her vagina in the center of the thing.
Well, no, it was more than that. It's like when you start off, like you should start off like, oh, well, that girl's pretty. And well, like I don't know, like necessarily like, you should probably talk to somebody that I don't know where you should start off. But like if it was just a picture of a naked girl, that's one thing. But this was a lady.
A pornographic image with two people.
No, there was just one person.
Oh, okay.
And a thing.
Oh, like a dildo or something?
Yeah. But it had two heads.
I feel like your mom is figuring out what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Like I'm not being like I'm not being
very subtle at all.
I'm not being very cryptic.
I'm trying to like fill in the blanks for you and you just like keep talking about oh yeah, no. It had two heads. Whoa.
Okay. So anyway, it was and it's also stuck in my head for like a long time. Like it weirded me out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was.
I used to get really freaked out when you would see like a porn with somebody that had like just like a massive penis, and like that's not going anywhere. Who's supposed to do something with that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I would just get scared. I would be like, I can't even watch this. It's just frightening.
Yeah. So the kids won't remember before like streaming was really good. Like you had to wait for like pictures to download, and.
Or like download from like the top to the bottom of the screen.
And sometimes like the first picture would be like the teaser. So like you would like see the first picture and it'd be like there's like 27 more pictures or whatever. So you click the first picture and it's just like a person and a bag of something. And the second picture, she's pulling out like the things in the bag. And you're like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And then you got to wait for all the pictures. And then I think there might be an ad in the middle or something. And yeah, it was
difficult.
It was a rough time.
I don't think we had incognito tabs back then. I think you just had to remember to delete your internet history.
No, you threw away your computer.
You just threw away the whole thing. Mom, I need a new computer. Why? Yeah. No reason.
Because you're
milk on it. It's just milk.
Don't send that to a lab. Anyway.
I put sugar in the milk. That's why it's sticky. Anyways.
Okay. So remind me to click not for kids this episode. Anyway, so yeah. But anyway, back to Miss.
Episodes for kids?
None.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I feel like we've said a lot of inappropriate things that children shouldn't hear.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was quick.
Teacher.
Oh no. So this lady wasn't creepy. This lady was just horrible. So she would do like check mark. Her name's Wendy O'Donovan. Feel free to look her up. She's a douche. She refused to believe that I knew what the hell I was talking about. Like I think that like whenever I had an opinion, like she just like wrote me off as like an idiot. Like early on, and never.
You can blame her.
Yeah, no, I
do the same thing.
Like I actually don't blame people anymore. Like I'm like, I understand why you think I'm an idiot. Like when I say something smart, it's like a monkey typing Shakespeare. It's an accident.
An accident.
So I wrote a story, right?
Mhm.
and then I had my mom proofread it, and my mom's really good with grammar, as you guys know. So like, and I also had my mom proofread shit. Um, but I remember, and the story didn't end in a suicide. The story ended in an implied suicide. So first, she didn't believe that I wrote the story, and I was like, my mom's allowed to proofread shit, so she gave me a bad grade on it because she didn't believe that I wrote it.
Mhm.
And like, my mom's not that creative. Like, and first off, first off, if my mom was doing my homework, my grades would have been a lot better. You douchebag. If you're watching this, Miss O'Donovan, my grades would have been way better if my mom was doing it. So when you accuse me of my mom doing my homework, you are just insulting her and my integrity. So
So you
anyway,
think my mom's an idiot? What do you think?
you think my mom's doing this bullshit? But anyway, my mom's also not that like creative when it. Yeah. So, but I wrote this story where it was like about these two boys and whatever, and there's an implied suicide at the end,
Mhm.
and then so she gave me a bad grade on it, and I didn't think I deserved a bad grade on it because it hit all the parameters, and like I was like asking her, and she wouldn't tell me why she gave me a bad grade, and then she told me, um, if your mom's name was on it, I would give her a better grade, and then so I was like, no, so that's bullshit. So I took it to the principal, and then the principal said, so they changed the story, by the way.
Mhm.
The principal said that they couldn't accept it at all for a grade because there was a suicide in it. And by the way, there wasn't a suicide in it. It was an implied suicide. And so I guess there was, but so then like this is the funniest thing that anybody's ever said to me was, instead of ending it in a suicide, maybe the guy could have been murdered. And I was like,
How
what
is that bad?
world?
Suicide is murdering himself. That's still murder. What do
Yeah,
you?
like what world is murder better than suicide?
That's stupid.
Yeah. And so and then, by the way, eventually I negotiated a B out of it. So it
Mhm.
went from a 50 to a B, and I didn't change anything in the story. And so, and then I told him that like the whole time it was a murder. It's just you just have to read it into the text, and she's like, "Oh, that's clever."
Oh, you just
So
didn't understand it.
yeah, but uh yeah, and it to this day it pissed me off. And then like I think that she just kept on giving me low grades because she thought I was too dumb to be turning in the work that I was turning in
Yeah.
because I'm I'm not like a talented writer, but I'm like okay enough
Well, you
to
are like you're a comedian. You are a writer,
yeah
so you are creative.
yeah
Like,
no and yeah and there was like another in every other English class I've ever taken I've gotten good grades in except
mhm.
for hers and Miss Kelly's, and they just thought that I was an idiot. Like they were best friends, and I had one out right after the other.
Oh,
Like ninth grade was O'Donovan, 10th grade was Miss Kelly, and like one after the other I had those two, and I got horrible grades. Every other English class I've ever had, they've liked me, and like I
yeah.
did good in it. But yeah, so
Yeah, I had a teacher accuse me of cheating. Well, okay. So she put me and the other girl that she accused me of cheating off of her homework. She would always sit us at the front, and we were like the only Mexicans in the class. And
hmm,
I was like an underclassman taking an advanced math class. Um, and it was we were like outside of the hall, like in the hall, talking about the homework or something. And you know how sometimes like there's multiple choice, right? And I wrote down the right answer, but I wrote down like the wrong letter. Like I had the answer. I don't know. Say the answer was like 2.7. I had 2.7, but I accidentally wrote down C instead of B.
mhm.
But and I was looking at it with my friend Dora, and
You had a Mexican friend named Dora.
yeah.
All right,
Um,
I'm gonna skip
I
that.
mean, we were just looking at that outside of the classroom, and then while we were grading the papers, which first of all, she had us grade the papers with these very specific red pins that had like flowers on the top of them, so that she could tell that you weren't changing someone's answer.
Okay.
Um, but that's another. I can tell that story. It's just a brief story after that. But so she accused me of cheating, and then we go to the principal's office, and I was like one of the top kids in my class. They were like, "Well," and my mom was really mad about it too. She's like, "Well, why would she cheat? She's one of the smarter kids in the class. What would she need to cheat for if she knows how to do it? And the teacher, she was like, her name was Miss Tolbert. The teacher was like, well, sometimes the smartest kids cheat because they have a pressure to stay, like, to keep their grade point average or whatever. And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. I don't care that much. This is easy, and I've never been accused of cheating. Like, I've never had a single problem with any teacher that I've ever had in my entire life until you. So I mean, I didn't end up getting in trouble because my mom was like, it's really, it was the vice principal, I think, that we were talking to, and I think he was Mexican. And mom was like, it's really weird that you would accuse the only two Mexican girls in your class of cheating and not anybody else. So I think when she said that, like, she kind of backed off. Because I do think she was accusing us because I do think she was racist. Like, I had a lot of racist teachers, especially
in Greenwood. No way.
Like, with our 1.5
mean
Black people in the entire school population. Yeah.
You mean the town that I accidentally walked in on, people like folding a Ku Klux Klan flag?
Are you for real?
I didn't tell you about that?
No.
No, I was selling in Greenwood, and they had this new housing development, like this huge one, like where I think they actually built a hill for people to live on because they don't naturally happen out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where that hill came from. And yeah, like they were folding it like they were folding a freaking blanket or something. Like I just like I looked in, the mom and the daughter were folding it, and then I looked at the dad and just acted like I didn't see it.
You're like, not a big deal. I'm gonna go though. I am white. Good to meet you.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna go white now, right now. I'm gonna Caucasian out of here.
Salad. I'm gonna.
Yeah. No, and that actually totally is a place where you'd get shot and nobody would call the cops because like they're like, oh, I heard a gunshot, but I'm not calling the cops. People shoot out here all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So the thing that I did, like, kind of at the end of my senior year with that lady, because I kept having to have her for math classes because she was the only teacher of these advanced math classes that I had to take because there was no other classes for me to take. Like, you don't have a lot of options when there's only like 10 teachers in the whole school. So I would always take her red pens and I would hide them. I would stick them in like random empty lockers, or I would hide them behind the clock in her room. I would like tape them to the underside of desks, to the point where, like, at the end of the school year, she didn't have very many of those pens left because I would just keep stealing them. But I had a lot of problems with that lady. Like, she's the only person who ever sent me to the principal's office. And when I got up there, the principal was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I don't know. Miss Tolbert sent me to the office because I needed to go to the bathroom, and she didn't want to let me go to the bathroom. So I just left to go to the bathroom because I had to go to the bathroom." And he was like, "Yeah, get out of my office." But she would do that to to a bunch of different students. She just hated children.
Yeah. Well, I have noticed like there's certain teachers that pick favorites sometimes, and you're either like one of the favorites or like there's the people that are the favorites. There's the people that are like, just the other kids, and then there are kids that they hate. And every now and then, there were a lot of teachers I think I was like their favorite, but every now and then I would end up on the shit end of certain teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like I talked too much. Like especially when I was younger, I was always somebody that would like not shut up when like I thought I was in trouble.
Yeah,
like
that
I
was the only
would keep
teacher
digging.
that ever treated me like, because most of my teachers like really liked me because I was smart. Like, I would make comments and stuff, but it would always, like, I guess because I did fine, like all my grades were good, they didn't really care what I did or like what I said. So I never got in trouble. And I was actually like, because I would get my work done really quickly. So sometimes I would just go to the front. I was like, I don't know if I would say I was a teacher's pet, but I would go to the front and just like talk to the teachers, especially if I didn't have any friends in the class, because I was like, the rest of these people in the class are idiots. I don't want to talk to them.
Well, Greenwood.
Yeah. They're not really known for their education system.
Well, yeah, like your high school and your elementary school are like right across the street from each other, and like speed limit is in that street. The speed limit's still 60.
Yeah.
Like they want the kids to get hit.
Right.
They want those like get the slow one.
He's not on the football team. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. was like, whoa, slow down. That could be a lineman. Oh wait, no, that's a girl. We don't care.
What is she doing here?
Yeah. It's like she should like what's that girl doing in school? She should learn to cook at home.
Right?
Yeah. So
Learn how to be a wife. It's more important.
yeah. That's
You
it's
need to
also
learn how
weird.
to read.
That makes me sad when I meet somebody that lived their whole life in Greenwood. Like it's not even
And
Midland.
still lives there.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me sad whenever people live their whole life in Greenwood and then they're like move to Midland.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah, I got out of there. I'm like, not really.
You know how many times I've been in Greenwood and people have referred to Midland or Odessa as the city?
Yeah.
That's weird. I was like,
Well, that's how we would refer to it. Be like, oh, I'm going into town today, and it would be like an all-day event because it was like a 20-minute drive.
yeah. I used to have to drive to Greenwood every day, and I hated. I hate Greenwood. Well, I don't hate it. There's like a certain charm to it, I guess.
I mean,
I found a
if
chick
you
there.
ignore all the like racism and misogyny and homophobia,
Yeah.
then I'm sure it's fine.
If you ignore all the bad things about everything, it's okay. If you ignore like Ed, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you ignore all the teenagers that he murdered, he's a really polite
Just
dude.
country dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking care of his chickens or whatever.
Yeah. I actually found a chick in Greenwood. And
Like
I got
a girl?
No, a chick. Like a
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you return it?
No, I kept it. I didn't know where. No, it's seriously like right out in the middle. Like there was like 100 miles between everything that I found that chick. Like I have no idea how it got there. Like I think it fell off like a truck.
Probably.
Yeah. Like there's like a large stretch of road between the high school and then like this like trailer park. And I was putting up signs for West Tech's disposal. Shout out to my old company. And just I saw something moving. I looked over at it and it ran right up to me. Like it knew it was gonna be dead if it just hung out there.
Yeah.
I guess. So it ran.
Said,
Yeah,
it. My mom.
No, I think it did. No, it seriously was just following me around everywhere I went after that. So like I grabbed it and I threw it inside my truck and yeah, it just followed me around everywhere. I went and I bought.
It alive? How long did you have it?
It's still alive. I gave it to a lady that raised chickens for eggs. So yeah, it's still alive.
Cool.
I named it Kanye because when I was like, because it was right after Kanye assaulted like went up when Taylor Swift was accept, and he went up there and he's like, I'm gonna let you finish. And then so like I was playing and a Taylor Swift song came on and it freaked out and I was like, oh, you don't like Taylor Swift either, so I named it Kanye.
That's funny.
It was before Kanye went really crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should have been the first warning sign though.
Yeah.
Like just leave that little white girl alone.
there were a few signs like leading up to, but you know. So I got these cards and they're supposed to be conversation topics, like conversation starters. And some of them are really dumb.
Okay.
Like who's the most optimistic person that you know?
I don't know. I don't know that I know very many. I mean, I have a lot of people, like I have a lot of friends that are starting to have kids, so I would say that's pretty optimistic. Like,
yeah, like
bold of you to think that this planet is going to continue to sustain human life
for as long as that's going to be alive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you could get a dog, like a 14-year bet. That's a good bet.
Yeah.
14 to 15 years. But like, what are you talking about? Like the average lifespan now is 80 years. Think 80 years is left? No, that's.
We're not even gonna get to 80 years. What makes you think this kid?
I guess the most optimistic person that I know is my ECMO doctor. His name was Philip. I thought his name was Philip Mason, but turns out he goes by Philip. His friends call him Doug, and that bothered me when I found that out.
Wait, so
because
what's his name?
his name is Philip Mason, but his real name is Doug, and his friends call him Doug. And I was like, your name is Doug, and you saved my life. Like that's the dumbest name. Like that's a dumb person name.
I can't believe you had the capability to save my life.
Yeah.
Why am I not dead right now?
Like how is this? How does this happen when your name is Doug? Oh yeah, I was saved by Dr. Doug.
I would lie. I would lie about that.
Yeah. And I found out his name. I found out his name was Dr. Doug in just before we did he asked me to do a conference for ECMO. And also like I've had to do 2 conferences just because I'm such a unicorn. Like not because of like any real world qualifications I have, because like I'm such a unicorn for surviving something that I shouldn't have survived.
Right. Didn't
People
you set like a world record or something?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure I do. The Guinness people haven't gotten back to us. I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that'd be cool to have a world record and then just for a second, like however long until like the next person gets it. But yeah, that'd be cool to just to have one.
Yeah.
But
he's optimistic.
yeah, dude, he's stupid optimistic.
Mhm.
Like every time I talk to him, like the one doctor told me that I was gonna die, and then he talked to me the next day, and it was like the other doctor like never said anything. Like he's like, no man, like he's like, well, like and like just the way that he talked, like I was like, I think this guy like he's so optimistic it almost seems dumb.
Like he's lying to me and to himself.
Yeah, like you know like the dog that just thinks everything might be a treat.
Yeah.
And just like every person
That's
that
my
walks.
dog. That's my
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
She bites
Like that.
everything. Maybe I can eat it.
Yeah. It's like maybe this tastes good. It's like, oh, new people. Oh, they're gonna pet me. They all love dogs, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't feel that way about people, but she feels that way about anything that will fit in her mouth. And sometimes that don't fit in her mouth, quite frankly. She really loves to bite fence posts. She doesn't do it as much anymore. She's gotten better about it. But we've had to replace, I think we're up to like a dozen fence posts now.
Oh. My dog chewed through a fence to get to the dog next door.
Yeah, that's
And
it's all the ones that are
yeah.
that are bordering our neighbors.
Yeah, and then I had to pay to get a splinter that was like shoved up her.
Oh.
Yeah. And like the dog, I don't also my dog's kind of an asshole because if I was able to get to it, I could have gotten it out.
Mm-hmm.
But like my dog was just freaking out every time I tried to touch it. So I was like, I'm gonna take her to the vet. And the vet's like, well, let me try to do it before I give her anesthesia because I was like, she's going crazy. There's no way you can do it. The dog, I've been with that dog since she was born. She should trust me. The first thing that's fucking like all of a sudden is a good dog, and then he just like $400. Fucking bitch. And it's okay that I say that because she is a bitch. And I lost.
Technically.
She is technically a bitch, and she cost me $400. So it's okay that I say that. Okay. That question was better. What's more okay, this one I don't get. What's more important? What's more important? Intelligence or common sense?
I think probably common sense. But common sense isn't like it's very dependent on like where you're from and how you were brought up. I don't know. I was just like that makes me think of the time that like I think I've told you this story before. I made a carrot cake for my family and my brother asked me if I put real carrot in it. And my brother is a mechanical engineer. He like draws designs for buildings and machinery.
So he's very intelligent.
So
but yeah.
But he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Like my entire family too. They think he's like the smartest person they've ever met. And I'm like, oh yeah, really, carrot cake? Real smart, huh?
Yeah. My brother's really smart too, and then he just says really stupid things, and sometimes people just look at each other like they don't even say anything. Just like look at each other. There was a lady. So there's a lady that lives here who is very short. And so she's like, I needed a stool. She's like, I need to get, and the beds are kind of high. So she's like, I needed to get a stool to get on my bed. So she said, I need to get a stool to get on my bed. Another lady overheard just part of the conversation. And then she's like, yeah, when that happens to me, I just take the whole thing and throw it in the washer with bleach. And then she's like, and then she kind of explained like her washing routine. And then we all just looked at each other and we're like, we're not going to tell her what we were really talking about. She just heard stool in bed.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, when I shit the bed, this is what I do.
Yeah, but like it was that was like something that like it was just our just common sense. Like we're not telling her that we were talking about something else because it's just gonna
But is
embarrass
that
her.
common sense, or is that just like, yeah, you didn't want to embarrass her? I would say that's more like a courtesy.
It's a courtesy, but like I think you have to be smart enough to pick up on like other people's like cues. Like we both looked at each other and we're like, we both knew what was going on, but then we're like, we're not telling you though. We're just gonna let you live in this world that you invented, but we're gonna let you.
Think that she's also publicly talking about shitting in her bed.
Yeah, you think that you thought she was publicly talking about shitting in her bed, so you thought that gave you the ability to talk about shitting in your bed. Yeah, and then I also dated a girl that was way smarter than me. Her GPA was like 4.5, and my GPA was literally the lowest it could have been, and me still graduating, which was 1.89. And like I was like the fourth lowest GPA in my high school of the kids that graduated.
So was she like dumb in other ways?
So there was one time she called me to help her start her car, and I had to call my buddy to come help us, get the car started. So we went out there, and it pissed me off because like I had to like promise him pancakes and shit just to get him out of bed because it was like late at night. And when we got there, the hood was already open, and she didn't want her dad to know that she went out or whatever. So I got in the driver's seat, and then he popped. Nick was like underneath the hood, and then like the first thing I noticed when I got in the driver's seat was the car wasn't in park. So I put it in park, and I was able to start the car. And this girl, her GPA was almost 3.5 points higher than mine.
Yeah, I mean,
we drove 20 minutes to get out to her. I had to pick up my friend and then drive 20 minutes to go pick her up. And like, the whole time. Oh yeah, no, and we were telling him other stuff to do. Like on the way, like, did you try this? Did you try this? And shit like that. And like it just me sitting in the car for like 2 seconds, I figured it out. So there's like some people that just don't figure out, like some people that are really good with like paperwork and then but like any sort of like hitch in the system, they're nothing. Like they can't do shit. Where
that's I feel like I'm smart in a lot of other ways, but if you try to tell me directions, I will retain none of it. Like when somebody's like, oh yeah, you're just gonna go downside and you're gonna make a left on, I'm like, don't ever tell me anything because none of this is making sense to me. Because I can't visualize like spaces.
Do you think that might be a comedian thing? Because I know a lot of comedians that are really bad with directions. And I'm really bad with directions.
Maybe the whole time I was like, maybe this is just like the one trait that I have where I'm just like a dumb girl because I can't figure it out. But like Kelsey's really good at directions and she can get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm always just like, yeah, I can't drive. I'm gay. I don't know where we're going. I'm not paying attention. But I don't like anytime I've ever been on a road trip, I'm never paying attention to where we're going. Like, oh yeah. If somebody had picked me up as a teenager and been like, yeah, I'm gonna drive you to your mom's house, I'd be like, okay, and then stare out the window, and then I wouldn't figure out that we weren't going to my mom's house until we didn't show up at my mom's house. Like,
yeah, we stopped at the new house, and you're like, it's like you should have noticed right away. Like your mom lives north of here.
The opposite. Yeah, I would be like, I don't understand directions at all. I kind of understand them now, and since I used to drive for Uber Eats, I kind of have a better idea of where things are in town. But I still get turned around all the time. If I'm in like a neighborhood street, I don't know which direction I'm going. I don't know where the interstate is. I can't find a loop. Like I can't find the main street if I'm in a neighborhood.
I think I was barely a functioning member of society before GPS.
Dude, yeah. I wouldn't go and then So my phone, oh, I should tell this story, I guess. My phone got stolen at a bar that I always go to, like last Friday, I think, maybe the Friday before. No, last Friday. My phone got stolen. So, and I wasn't supposed to get a new one until today, but I ended up getting it earlier. Or no, it was 2 weeks ago. It doesn't matter. My phone got stolen at this bar that I always go to. So for like 3 days, I didn't have a phone at all, 3 or 4 days, and I couldn't go anywhere. So I was like, if I can go to the grocery store and I can go to work and I can go to Kelsey's work. Otherwise, I can't go anywhere because I won't be able to find my way back.
Yeah, that's how I am. I know Odessa really well.
Mm-hmm.
And before I had a GPS and before all phones had GPSs, my cousin invited me to Olive Garden. There's one in Midland and there's one in Odessa. I know where the one in Odessa is. I have no idea where the one in Midland is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so she's like, okay, well, we just decided that we're going to go to the one in Midland instead. And I was like, oh, I'm not going then.
I can't go. I don't.
I was like, can someone give me a ride? And they're like, we're already halfway there. And I was like, all right, then I'm not going. And they're like, you have plenty of time. I was like, no, not even gonna try.
Figure it out. No.
I was like, I know that this is gonna be me being upset at the earth and Jesus and everything in 20 minutes because I'm not gonna be able to figure it out.
Yeah, dude.
So,
My
yeah.
sister makes fun of me all the time because I don't know. Like, I have to GPS myself to my grandma's house, and my grandma's lived in the same house for my whole life. So my sister doesn't even live over. She lives in like around Houston now, and every time she comes into town, she knows exactly how to get to my grandma's house, but I never do. I always have to look it up.
Yeah. If it's not straight lines, I can't figure it out.
No.
So yeah, maybe because I know Willie's really bad with directions. I don't know about Corey, but I know Willie. I know Hector got us lost really bad once. I know Johnny gets lost all the time. Yeah.
Maybe it is a comedian thing. For some reason, we just can't. I think it's probably because, like for me at least, it's because I don't pay attention when I'm driving because I'm always thinking about something else.
There was an article that I meant to read. Is ADD and ADHD have any association with comedy? And that might be it.
Yeah, but I don't think I have those. I've never been diagnosed with those. I have trouble in school.
I definitely do have ADD. Yeah. Miss Bowman.
I don't feel like I do, but I don't know.
Freaking Miss Bowman. I didn't talk about you earlier, but I want you to know that you were my least favorite teacher, and that includes the one that touched people inappropriately.
Did she make you feel dumb because you had ADD?
No, she kept on calling me a mental midget, and I'm smarter than her. I am for sure smarter than her.
That's mean.
Yeah. So like me and Miss Bowman agree on things, but like she competitively agrees with people. So even when she agrees with you, like she'll still kind of talk shit to you,
She
which
has
is
to
fine.
pretend like she knows more than you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, I agree. Well, you don't understand, and I was like, no, I agreed. Like we're on the same level. No. So yeah, but yeah, I always want to complain about Ms. Bowman. She deleted me on Facebook because I was explaining because she posted statistics. So she actually ran for Congress, or she ran for state Congress or state.
Okay.
She ran for state Senate, state Congress, or whatever, something like that. And she ran as a Republican. And she's actually gay. So I'm not entirely.
She's not that smart.
Yeah, because like I'm not sure exactly what is, and her daughter Summer. I actually really liked her daughter Summer. And then her daughter Robin actually thought that I was hot in high school. But anyway, they were both adults. Like that's like a whole different thing. But anyway, Miss Bowman, she was like explaining Black Lives Matter. She was like explaining like statistics incorrectly. So she posted on her Facebook, and this is when she deleted me, that more white people get shot by cops than black people. And I was like, that's technically true, but if you account for population, that's not even close to being true.
Yeah, black people get shot at a rate that's like 6 times more than white people.
Depending on how you look at it, but no, white people represent 49, and this was due, and this
Right,
is
they're most
going,
of the population, so obviously they're
yeah,
gonna get killed by the police more. But if
yeah,
if it was proportionate,
yeah. If it was proportionate, then like I don't think anybody would say anything if it was like proportionate, but also a lot more people would be getting shot by cops, which would be a whole different issue. But so while I explained that the entire issue is not 100% a race issue, there is training and there is other things, but it is a disproportionately larger issue for people of color,
right?
which is Native Americans is number one, then African
Yeah.
Americans is number two, like not like a distant number two, like a very close number two, but just rounding the statistics based on the 2010 census, white people represent about 69% of the U.S. population and represent only 49% of all police shootings, where African Americans represent 12.2% of the population
Hmm.
and 24% of police shootings. And then if you change it to like African American male, it goes up dramatically more.
Yeah.
And then if you talk about incarceration rates for similar crimes, stuff like that. And then so I cited the exact study that she cited, which was a study done by Peter Mezzo of John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
Hmm.
So the exact study that she cited, I cited the same thing and explained the statistics out. I was like, and if you want me to, and then she's like, cite your source. And I was like, it's the
She was
same
putting
source.
it out of. She was taking it
Yeah.
out of context.
Yeah. And I was like, and so she wasn't taking it out of context intentionally. She took it from a Fox News article by, I want to say Glenn Beck, but don't quote me on that. And so I kind of explained the statistics on my own. And then
Yeah.
she's like, cite your source. And then I was like, the same source as you. Peter Mezzo did a study, John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York. And then so she's like, this is why. And then she said, and this is why, which by the way, she also said that my mom did all my work for me, which isn't true. Like I had horrible grades. And she's like, you're the kid that always had their parents doing their work for them and doesn't know how to do good in society. And at the time I was like, what are you talking about? I make more than both my parents, which would, by the way, is just a shitty thing to say, but like I wanted to win the argument.
Right.
And was true at the time. And yeah, dude, I don't know, it just pissed me off, but then she deleted me. Like I annihilated her.
She figured out that she was wrong.
I annihilated her so much
Mm-hmm.
in this that she just deleted me. She's like, I don't have time to educate you. And then I read that, and then she deleted me before I could respond. So I was like, fuck, she won. So yeah, she got the last word in.
I don't have time to educate you. Isn't that your whole job?
Yeah, well, it was.
Isn't that
Like,
all you have time for? What do you mean?
we weren't in high school anymore, but yeah, like she was no longer my teacher. But yeah, man, that pissed me off because she said that, and like I don't know how she knew when I finally read it, but like the second I read it, she unfriended me and I couldn't comment back.
That sucks.
Yeah,
she got you.
She got me. Like, I won the argument. If there was a point system, I won the argument, but she won the war.
She won the war.
Yeah, yeah, it was like a kill shot, and then yeah, so
yeah.
I think my brother.
Another Zoom call or something?
No, it's my mom's phone is ringing, and my brother. Hey, this is one that you can answer. What's the secret to having a good marriage? You can't read that.
I mean, I don't think there's like a secret. I think it's just like.
It's a secret. I can't tell you.
Honest and open communication.
Honest and open communication. See, that's bad advice, guys. If you're listening to this, lie about everything.
Because you've been happily married.
I have never been in a healthy relationship, which is something I realized recently. But it's one of those things you don't realize while it's happening. But when you have like 2 years to look back at it, like 2 years without a relationship, just in a coma and shit, you're like, you know what? I don't know if I've had a healthy relationship.
I don't think that was actually great.
Now my brother's calling me. I can't talk. Hold on. I'm going to answer just to make sure it's not an emergency.
Okay.
Randall, I'm in a podcast. Is it an emergency? Good. Anyway, so yeah. What were we talking about a second ago? Good marriages?
Secret to a happy marriage. Yes.
Yeah,
Or
so
a good marriage.
the secret to a good marriage is lie about everything. If she catches you in a lie, continue to lie till she doesn't know what's true. In fact, if you tell the truth, what you're doing is creating a baseline for her to judge when you're lying. So you need to lie about everything. So she has no idea when you're telling the truth or lying.
I mean, how about we do an experiment where you get married and you try your method and I'll try my method, and then we'll see whose marriage.
That's not fair. You have a head start.
Yeah, but we'll see if your marriage survives.
Okay. I will get married. I will try my method of lying about everything all the time.
But the thing about that though is like some girls are very like if they know that you're lying to them about something, they'll be like, "Oh, okay." And pretend like they believe you, and then like 4 weeks later ask you the same question.
Okay.
See if you tell the same lie or if you tell a different lie, just to be like, "I knew you were fucking lying."
So she makes a good point. Make a list, write stuff down, but don't let her see it.
Keep track of all the lies.
Yeah, and then if she like reads your like diary and finds out that you've been lying to her, accuse her of not, respecting your space.
Good luck.
See, she's wishing me luck because she's happy for me.
Yep. I think you're gonna have a very successful marriage.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have Corey. Like Corey's about to get married. We'll have Corey try my method.
I don't think that he would. Corey's like too soft.
Yeah. Corey's too good of a person to be like lying all the time.
Yeah.
No.
I think at the most part, because he can't even be mean. Like me and Aaron, we always love to like gossip about people and be kind of mean about them. And Corey will never do that with us.
Yeah. I
like,
actually
I don't really think like
I don't know, like
gossip. Be a gossip. And he's like, I really just don't like to hurt people's feelings. I'm like, well, you're gay.
I think Corey acts like he's always being secretly recorded and like it's gonna be used against him in testimony because like he never says anything mean to people.
Yeah.
Like that's something I've noticed because like sometimes like people like piss me off. Be like, you know what? Fuck this guy. And he's like, he was just trying to do his job. I was like,
whose side are you on?
Yeah. So yeah, nah. Like I agree. Corey, if you're out there, try to be a dick sometimes.
Right? It's fun.
Yeah. Corey, maybe Corey doesn't like pissing people off, which pisses me off. So remember that, Corey. Which language would you like to speak fluently? Spanish.
Yeah.
Spanish, then French.
Well, I used to speak French because in college my minor was French, so I would write like entire essays in French. And then when I would get drunk, I would talk to Kelsey in French. But because I don't use it anymore, I kind of lost almost all of it. I could probably pick it back up if I started speaking it again, but I don't have a reason to.
Yeah, that's weird. My grandma said that she used to be able to speak German because she was born in Alsace-Lorraine, which is like right on the border of France and Germany. So she could speak French, German, and now she can speak English. But she's like, I've forgotten how to speak German. But then we started listening to a German song, and then she just started singing it, and she knows all the words, and she was like telling us what I meant. There's a weird German Christmas song about eating children.
Yeah, the Germans are weird.
Yeah, and it's actually, she's like, no, she's like, he's saying it's not good that he ate the children. And I was like, it's a fucking Christmas song.
Right?
It's like, we shouldn't be talking about eating children at all.
I mean, I think it kind of goes, I don't think we need to write a song about how eating children is bad. I think it's something we already understand.
Yeah, like, was it something that needed to be addressed in Germany at that time in 1808?
All the children getting eaten, so they had to write songs and be like, you should not eat children.
Yeah. So
Hitler, or however the song goes.
I really wish that I recorded, because that's something that would have gone viral on TikTok. I wish I recorded my grandmother listening to the song. She's like, ooh. And he's like, oh. So, okay. So the guy is killing and murdering children because he's running out of meat. And he's like, we don't have a lot of meat, but you know what we do have a lot of? We have a lot of children. So the guy starts murdering children and throwing them in his meat thing and making meat. And then Santa Claus comes in and says, "Hey, what is this meat?" And he's like, "Is it beef?" Like the guy knows that he's murdering children. He's like, "Is it beef?"
Right.
And he's like, "No, it's not beef." And he's like, "Is it chicken?" "No, it's not chicken." "Is it pork?" "No, it's not pork." And then I don't remember what happens to the guy. I think he goes to jail or he learns his lesson. Like I really don't remember if he went to jail or if he just learned his lesson. He's like, "All right, no more eating children." Like I really don't remember how the song ends.
My bad.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, Santa Claus, you're right.
I didn't know that I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So
I have this new joke that I've told a couple times, and I still don't know if people hate it or not. Like they kind of laugh, but then it's like you can see the discomfort on their faces. Where it's like, I read a story about a man from Virginia who killed his 5-year-old son and then put him in a freezer, and the cops didn't find his body for over 2 years. Can you believe that somebody leaves meat in their freezer for over 2 years?
you're talking about that joke. Yeah.
I can't tell if people like it or not. But I'm like, this isn't a joke about cannibalism, you guys. This is a joke about the failures of our justice system, that it took them 2 years to figure out that the little boy was dead. That's loosen up.
Yeah. This is a failure of a justice system and failure of a guy to save meat. Failure of preservatives, really.
It's just wasteful. I mean,
yeah.
You could have fed your other children with that one.
Well, one time.
Non-GMO, that's organic.
Yeah. Sometimes it's interesting what crowds get mad about. We were doing an improv show, and because like improv shows, when you ask for the audience help, sometimes the audience is an asshole and gives you like horrible suggestions. And like I remember like they're like, "What are we selling?" And they're like, "Nooses." And so we ended up doing like a whole sketch about like, if you want to kill yourself, you want to do it right, and you're not going to do it right making your own noose. What you want is our nooses. These are strong, sturdy, and then after that, like a few things after that, like I did my set, and then like I have a joke where it was like, my girlfriend likes to joke around about committing suicide. I don't know why she does it. I can only assume it's to get my hopes up. And then like I got a groan from the crowd, and I was like, "You fuckers!
You wanted me to talk about nooses, and now that I'm
yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, now it's not funny. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, nooses, that's fine. But my girlfriend committing no. Okay. Fine. Whatever.
Right.
You're
8
hot.
jokes about dicks in a row. 1 joke about periods. Now you guys are like super tight and conservative.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I see how it is. But yeah. I have a joke about like murdering my grandpa. Nobody cares about that. But then like I have a joke about making out with like dating my boss's daughter and then revealing that she might be my sister. And then like everybody's like, "Ugh." And I was like, "All right, murdering my grandfather? Okay.
Totally fine.
Incest? No. All right, up, down, whatever."
Good to know. I will make a note.
What? Oh, it's almost 9. My mom wants me to take my meds. You guys get to see me take my meds today.
How many do you have?
A lot. And my mom's mad at me because I accidentally took my evening meds this morning instead of my morning meds.
Are they the same meds or no?
No.
Oh.
And my mom just likes yelling at me. No. Like to the point where sometimes she's not even mad about something. She'll just yell at me.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine that like having to stay there and babysit her adult child is like a great time for her.
Yeah, like what would she be doing otherwise? Just living her life?
Enjoying her time as an adult by herself.
Yeah. Enjoying the freedom of the nice, beautiful Colorado. Yeah, no. She hasn't. Yeah. She's lucky. But yeah.
I think that was full of M&Ms. I don't think that was medicine at all.
She won't let me eat M&Ms right now.
Why can't you have M&Ms?
Because they're hard. Can't have hard foods because I had a fundification. Don't know exactly what it is.
So you can't have like chips?
Not for a little while now. Just for a little while, but yeah. The doctors keep on explaining to me these procedures that they're gonna do, and every time I just zone out. It's like directions. Like I don't need to know. If you're driving, why do I need to know?
Right? I don't care.
Yeah.
You're doing all the work. I'm just gonna be asleep.
Yeah. Like I made the joke. I was like, I actually said this to the guy that was giving me a lung transplant. I was like, is there gonna be a point halfway through where you're gonna wake me up and be like, hey, what was the second thing I said we were gonna do? And he's like, no, you're gonna be under. Like it's interesting how like how many doctors have like no sense of humor, and very good with directions. So I don't know.
Right. Well, because they have to like because you have to have informed consent. Like you have to know what it is that they're doing before you can sign off on it.
Yeah, but what they're doing is horrible. Like the actual term for my lungs for my lung transplant, like that surgery, is a clamshell. And you know why? Because you open my chest like a fucking clamshell. Did you know clams don't survive clamshelling? When you're getting like pearls.
But you survived it. Fuck those clams. They're weak.
Yeah. Yeah, they could potentially, but it's not the priority. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, like they're just like, I'm like, you're not gonna tag me in at any point, so don't tell me this shit. I don't want to know.
I don't care. Just do what you got to do.
It's not that I don't care. I just don't want to know at all. Like, yeah, like
I'll just
supposed
to do with that information.
Nothing. Yeah, and then like he even said like he's like, you know, we do have like he used the words informed consent. I was like, can't I just like trust that you know what you're doing? You're gonna take the old ones that don't work out. You're gonna put in new ones that do work, right? Like, I have that. Yeah, is that all I need to know? He's like, yeah. Are you mentally or physically tougher?
I would say mentally. I mean, I have a really high tolerance for pain, but I'm not very physically strong. So I would say it's probably mentally.
Huh. I don't know with me, because people word judo me all the time, but I used to be relatively physically strong, but I'm also like a bitch when it comes to pain. I don't know. I really don't know. What's the most fun party you've ever attended?
It's kind of dumb to say my wedding, but that's I guess my true answer. My other answer would be for Kelsey's 30th birthday. We threw a party here with just like a bunch of our friends and some of our family and stuff, and we made like a massive amount of gumbo that turned out to be really, really delicious. So that was a lot of fun.
Gumbo. Okay. Gumbo. Yeah, does that have shrimp?
Yes. I don't. Well, we didn't put shrimp in the one that we made. It was just chicken and sausage, but sometimes gumbo has shrimp. Yeah.
Oh. I don't know what the most fun party I've ever attended was. I went to a quinceañera one time where a lady like drove drunk into like 6 cars, and that was kind of fun.
Were there people? Did anybody get hurt?
Oh, a lot of people got hurt. Like people were trying to get in their car before she hit them.
Oh no.
Yeah, like she was mad at like her husband or something, and she was cussing in Spanish, and everybody was like, calm down, and then like I remember like somebody saying, don't let her get in the car, don't let her get in the car. And then all of a sudden like the car like starts and like goes like top speed, and then like she drove around the parking lot once, and then like drove like high speed into like a bunch of cars, and people were trying to move their cars. Yeah, it was hysterical. Good times.
We have very different ideas of what fun is.
Oh, dude, like I was actually
fun to me is like dancing and laughing and eating gumbo, and fun to you is like watching a lady almost murder 6 other people.
Well, another lady did go to the hospital. I don't know exactly what her injuries were. So yeah, she nailed somebody.
That's horrible.
Yeah. It was
Was it Caitlyn Jenner? Was it?
no, that lady was I don't
Yeah.
know her name, but yeah, I think I might be cousins with one of her cousins. I'm not sure though.
Oh,
But yeah.
that's how quinceañeras work.
Oh yeah, that's a weird thing about Odessa is I've gone to a lot of quinceañeras where I had no idea whose birthday it was. Just get
The girl
invited.
in the big puffy dress. I don't know.
Yeah, is that girl. I'm just gonna guess Juanita. No, all right, didn't come
They
close.
just go through the phone book and start like inviting all the people with Mexican last names.
Yeah, and it's also trippy because quinceañeras, like what you learn is like you just don't talk to any girls that have X's on their hands, and you're like, okay, cool.
Isn't that most? Shouldn't that be most of them?
No, not at quinceañeras in Odessa. Like those are huge dance halls, and like people like spend shit tons of money on those. They want as many people as you can get there. Like famous bands sometimes come and perform. Like bands that I've seen on TV have performed at these events.
Oh dang.
Yeah, like
I had this what was it? I think I did this joke actually when I was in Midland, but I don't think it went over very well. Where it's like I am from Midland, Odessa, and it's cool. I think it's cool because it's the only place in all of or I was like, because it's the only place that what was it? Oh, I like Music City Mall because it's the only place that Mexicans are not afraid of ice. I thought it was good when I told it, but then I think people just didn't understand what I was saying.
yeah, like that might be a regional joke.
Yeah, well, I did it in the region. I was like, this is gonna be great, but I think maybe they didn't get that I meant ICE, like immigrations and customs enforcement. Trying to link it to the ice skating rink because I was like, I saw a lot of quinceañeras on that ice skating rink.
Yeah, that's like one of those things. I made a offhand joke about Whataburger in Colorado one time, and then I was like, and seriously, like as I said it, I was like, we don't have Whataburgers
They're
here.
not gonna get it. Yeah, I think I did a joke up there once about having a drug dealer, and I was like, oh, you guys don't have those anymore, huh? This is what privilege looks like. That's what...
Yeah, like now it's not even a drug dealer in Colorado anymore. It's like, oh, like
the
it's like
clerk at the store.
yeah. I also think it's interesting, like how many people that I've met at like these head shops that have like an encyclopedic knowledge of weed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, that guy should be at MIT. Like that guy was using a lot of words that I've never heard before.
It's very scientific the way that they're describing. I
Yeah.
just want to know if I'm gonna get really high. That's what I want to know. How much
Yeah.
do I smoke? What kind of high am I gonna be? And is it gonna be the high where I eat an entire box of dry cereal? Or is it gonna be the kind of high where I'm like crying because I think the devil is in my kitty litter?
Yeah. Like, am
Like,
I
which
gonna
are the...
accidentally murder somebody and eat their face on this? That's what I want to know.
In which case, I only want a little bit.
Yes. I want a little bit because I'm going to a family reunion. I don't like those people anyway.
No, at one of my my brother doesn't, my older brother, the engineer, he
smart
doesn't
carrot
drink
one.
anymore. Mm-hmm. He
Yeah.
doesn't drink anymore, so he just smokes a lot of weed. And he went a few years ago at one of our family reunions. Everybody was like, "Wow, Rico's being really quiet. He must be like thinking a lot." I'm like, "No, he's high. He's high out of his mind. He's been high for 3 days. He's not thinking. He just isn't processing anything that's happening." He's so quiet and thoughtful on drugs.
That's a I don't want to be sexist here, but that's a woman thing. Is like they read a blank expression as deep in thought. You know how many times like people, specifically women, ask me like, "What are you thinking about?" when there's nothing going on in my brain.
Oh, nothing.
Literally, there's nothing going on in my brain. The first thought that my brain had was comprehending the sentence that you said, and it took me a second.
Yeah, that's how I feel like because like Kelsey's real quiet too, especially because I talk so much. She's usually just kind of like sitting there quiet listening, and people are like, "Oh, I bet you Kelsey's coming up with something really clever and important to say. I'm like, no, I think Kelsey just has like that circus song in her head that's like, and she's just like watching dogs jump through hoops, and like I don't think sometimes that she's thinking anything. And she's smart. She's just like, she's real spacey. Like,
Yeah.
she's very forgetful. And I'm like, I just don't think that you're thinking.
Yeah. But even then, like,
but you're pretty.
Yeah, like just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
Sit still, look pretty.
And get me another drink.
Do you... There's one thing that I notice about people from Texas versus people from Colorado is like very rarely do I meet people in Texas, or almost never have I met somebody in Texas that cares about drinking around their kids. But multiple times in Colorado, I've hung out with people where they're like I actually showed up to a birthday party with a 6-pack, and they're like, why'd you bring a 6-pack? And I was like, it's a kid's birthday party, right? Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
I was like, I didn't know if you guys already had Miller Lite, so I brought my own.
Right, like, can I or can I not get in the bounce house? Because if I can't, I need this beer. And if I can, I definitely need this beer.
Yeah. I remember actually showed up drunk to my cousin's daughter's birthday party, and she's like, who shows up drunk to a little girl's birthday party? And I was like, is that a rhetorical question?
Because I'm here.
Yeah, because not only that, I can name names. Every one of my uncles my whole life.
Right?
Yeah.
That was one thing. Like, my parents, they always drank around me, but they wouldn't let us go get the beer out of the fridge. Like, if they had other friends over, whatever they were drinking, uncles or something, and they asked us to get the beer.
Yeah.
Because I guess they would ask their kids. My stepdad would be like, "Oh no, we don't do that here." So then he would go get them a beer or whatever. But I mean, now that we're older and we all drink,
I have no problem with like kids getting beer. Like, they're not drinking it. Like your kids like a little.
Okay, when I was little, I do remember specifically there was a time that my mom was drinking like wine coolers or something, and we had those little cups, like, you know, the little cups that you use in the bathroom to rinse.
Yeah.
We had those, so I would go and get a little cup, and she would like fill it up for me, and I would drink it, and I would run around the house, and then I would go and take my little cup to her again, and she would. And she was like, "It's a wine cooler, it's fine," but that's when I started drinking.
Like, you judge, but when I'm ready to go to bed, she's gonna be ready to go to bed.
Right? That's what she was doing. She's just like, just calm down. Stop running. There's
a video, I think I posted on Facebook. I might have posted on Instagram, where my nephew is getting into the dishwasher. And instead of like stopping him from getting in the dishwasher, I just decided to film because I was really drunk and it was like 2 a.m.
But I feel like everybody does that with their kids these days.
Yeah. But I got nobody said anything to me on Facebook, but my cousin Brianna is like, she's like, do you think it's okay to get drunk around like children like that? And I was like, yeah. It's like, I'm not a violent drunk.
Not my kid.
Yeah. It's like, if I was a violent drunk, I probably wouldn't get drunk around kids.
Well, and also I feel like it's more fun for the kid too, because when you're drunk, you're like free. You want to play with their toys. You're like, oh, that's freaking awesome. Like, you're just having a better time.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, I didn't
have the mental capacity of a drunk adult anyway. Where it's just like, you want chicken nuggets? I want chicken nuggets. Let's go.
Let's make them right now. Oh, dinosaur nuggets? Yes. It's like all of a sudden, like, I start like acting out like legit, like, okay, we just acted out the entire Land Before Time Force 4 movies with these dino nuggets. Like, the kid starts crying. I was like, when I ate Littlefoot's mom. Like, so yeah, it's but yeah, like it's one of those things where like it's not even a cultural thing, it's like a regional thing.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I don't have like a lot of friends. Like, I've had a few friends that are like, I don't drink around my kids. I was like, oh.
So I mean, I kind of wish my mom didn't drink around me, but
like, I'd get it if like you're like a falling down drunk, you should probably not drink around your kids. But like, if you're a responsible drunk, then yeah, drink around your kids. Like, don't shoot up heroin in front of your kids.
Definitely not. No, I definitely think you shouldn't do drugs around your children.
Yeah, like those ones I actually find a little weird. I've actually been to houses where people were doing drugs in front of their kids, and I was like, okay, that's
I
that's
feel like
something.
that's inappropriate.
Yeah, that's something where I'm like, ooh, maybe I'm
But
the
then they're
Karen.
like, you're not a parent. You don't know. Like, I mean, I don't think you need to be a parent to know that it's bad to expose children to drugs. But
Yeah, yeah, like other like there's some arguments I'll give you with like weed and medicinal purposes, but other than that, like even then, like I'm like, it's still like a little sketchy. But yeah, maybe history is gonna kick me in the butt on that one. All right. So how long do you have on this? Do you have time for one more?
I actually need to go to Target before they close
Okay.
at like 10.
Yeah, they close at 10 and it is 9:16 where you are. All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up right now.
What do you mean where I am? Are you not in Houston?
Yeah, we're in the same time zone.
Oh, okay. So I was like, what do you mean where I am? Are we not in?
Well, it's where I am too.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I did that with my brother the other day where I was like, my mom said this, and he's like, it's my mom too. I was like, I don't know why I said my mom. Like
Yeah.
mom, I can just say mom or our mom.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I do that
Like, I
sometimes.
mean, not right now. She's not. Right now, she's with me. That's what you do. Actually, I'm taking ownership over her right now. You can find a new one. This one's mine.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
what my little cousin, whenever he was small, he used to get mad because my grandma would pay attention to me and not to him. Like, not like more attention or anything, but like anytime she would start talking to me or being nice to me, he would be mad. He would be like, "No, that's my grandma." He'd be like, "She was my grandma first."
My nephew headbutts people if he's not getting enough attention. So yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, he didn't hurt anybody. He would just whine about it. I feel like that's a different situation.
Yeah, I like that kid, but he's
Maybe
little,
is he like on the spectrum?
I don't know. He's 3,
Oh, okay.
so he's
Just 3. He's just a toddler.
I don't know much about his personality yet, other than 80% of his personality is picking up stuff and hitting people with it. So
It sounds like he's having a great time.
he always has a great time. Like he refuses to have a bad time. Like you tell him to do something, he'll just throw something at you and just not do it. You put him in timeout, like you're just gonna physically hold him there for 20 minutes because that's what you have to do.
Because he's just gonna leave.
Yeah, like you're like stay in here, and you can't lock the door because he's gonna start a fire.
Probably.
I don't know how he got the matches, but they're there now. All right, so I guess we're wrapping it up because we got to get you to Target.
Well, it's my dog's birthday. I'm gonna go buy her a blanket.
All right.
Why is that weird?
I'm not saying anything. You're reading something that's not there.
I feel like you're laughing at me because I'm buying my dog a birthday present.
No, I'm not. This is funny.
There's like I have rice cooking for her with like a piece of chicken and a
Okay.
rice cooker right now.
Take a picture of your dog's birthday party so we can show it on the next episode.
Okay.
Okay. All right. My name is Andrew Holiday.
My name is Salena.
I let her say it this time. Please like, share, and subscribe. This has been Comedically Correct, and we are sorry for wasting your time. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.